Hey guys, Hop here. I'm not sure how closely you follow industry gossip, but you may have heard that Aero Precision is not doing so hot. Rumor has it that they are in dire financial straits, possibly due to a combination of general industry downturn and just taking on way too many new projects at the same time. One of their new projects, possibly the last one that they were able to bring close to completion before the current unpleasantness, is the M4E1 Pro series rifles. They were able to send one of these out to me right before things went tits up. So today we're going to take a look at what I think is one of very few Aero M4E1 Pro rifles out in the wild, see if it's any good, and see if this is a fitting swan song for Aero Precision as we know and love them today. Stick around. Today's video is made possible by our channel sponsor, Blue Alpha. I've been wearing a Blue Alpha hybrid EDC belt for about the last 6 years, well before they were sponsoring this channel, well before anybody was watching this channel. Blue Alpha also makes 2-layer battle belts and duty belts, as well as magazine pouches and dump pouches to go along with them. They also recently started offering a 308 version of their rifle mag pouch, so on the off chance that the Aero M5 Pro ever comes out, well, you'll be able to carry mags for it. Check out Blue Alpha at the link in the video description, and let's get back to the show. Aero Precision has staked a pretty sizable position for itself in the AR market as an entry-level brand. They're not a budget brand like Anderson or PSA, or the preferred brand of mid-tier snobs like BCM. They've also been a big part of the builders market for as long as I've been into ARs, so a lot of builds out there at least start with an Aero stripped lower and probably at least a few Aero small parts. The weak point of Aero builds, if you can even call it that, were the two big operating components, the barrels and the bolt carrier groups. If you're a high round count shooter, like a seriously high round count shooter, like seriously more than I am, you would burn through an Aero barrel faster than a BCM, Geisley, or Daniel Defense. The new Aero M4E1 Pro seems like a bit of a prestige project. People don't put us in the same mix as duty grade ARs like BCM, Geisley, and Daniel Defense. Alright. We'll make a top-tier AR, but brace yourself, it's going to command a top-tier price. Let's go over the M4E1 Pro using the only open-source technique for talking about the AR platform, starting at the middle and working our way out. First, the lower receiver. The big upgrade from the existing M4E1, Aero's enhanced receiver set, is that the Pro is fully ambidextrous. Aero has a new ambi selector, ambi mag release, a mirrored bolt catch and bolt drop paddle, and their breech ambi charging handle. This makes the Pro Series rifles 100% ambi except for a right side ejection port. Lefty suppressor owners can kick rocks. Otherwise, the lower is very mil-spec. Standard mil-spec style trigger, standard 6-position buffer tube, and an H1 buffer. If you're shooting suppressed, you have some tuning overhead with heavier buffers, but it's not something fancy like an A5 buffer system. Aero's choice of furniture is the Magpul SL stock and the Magpul MOE grip. These are fine, but a bit out of date. I would love to see it with the new DT stock and the K2 grip. Those are just plain old better in my opinion. But knocking a few bucks off the price and using placeholder A2 grip and M4 stocks would also be acceptable. Just let the customer add whatever they want, since no two gun owners can agree on what grip or what stock. The new Pro lower doesn't impress me. I'm a right-handed shooter. I don't need most of this stuff. We'll get deeper into that later. Now to really embarrass myself, let's pretend I'm left-handed, which as we all know is the worst thing a person can be. Ooh. Jesus Christ, Brock, you do this on purpose? The upper receiver has the upgrades I'm really here for. These rifles have a new Pro Series barrel made by Ballistic Advantage. These are cold hammer forged and chrome lined, which is a first for Ballistic Advantage and Aero. This should be a fantastic hard-use barrel. Chrome lining is still, to my knowledge, the best way to add longevity to a barrel. The example I have is a 16-inch barrel with a mid-length gas system and a low-profile pinned gas block. Again, pinned gas block is a great feature on a duty rifle. The handguards on the Pro Series rifles are the new Mod 4 rails. These look good, they feel nice, and they are very rigid, which is good if you plan to add weight to the front, such as mounting a bipod and putting a load on the rifle, or adding a laser aiming module. The Mod 4 handguards have a weight increase compared to the older Atlas R1 handguard, but they're still quite trim and the extra weight is earned. These handguards have anti-rotation QD cups, front and back, both sides, which are steel reinforced so you won't rip them up by installing steel QDs in an aluminum handguard. I have one nitpick about the Mod 4 handguard. The anti-rotation QD cups are oriented so the resting position of the swivel is just slightly not straight. I can assume it's a deliberate choice because it's exactly the same on all 4 QD cups. A small nitpick, but it sets off my OCD, and I'd be remiss not to bring it up. Rounding out the build is a duty-grade bulk carrier group. The Pro Series BCGs are essentially mil-spec with higher levels of quality control. They're individually high-pressure tested and magnetic particle inspected, not batch tested. The M4E1 Pro is a damn good rifle. They're too new to have much of a track record, but on paper, this will go toe-to-toe with the aforementioned Mount Rushmore of AR builder companies, BCM, Geisley, and Daniel Defense. Well, guess what? Making a rifle like this isn't cheap. MSRP on the M4E1 Pro as configured is $2,000. Obviously, sales prices will be much lower if this ever manages to go on sale, but yeah, there's no such thing as a free lunch. If you want Aero to make a top-tier gun, they're not going to sell it to you for entry-level prices. There is a way we can get that cost down in theory. At heart, Aero is still a brand for enthusiast AR builders. All these Pro Series parts should eventually be available a la carte if Aero manages to stay in business. My preferred configuration of M4E1 Pro would be to build or buy the upper almost exactly as you see here, and then put it on a normal M4E1 lower. A lot of the added cost on the Pro Series is the complicated ambidextrous lower, and like I hinted at earlier, I can take it or leave it.
That shoots pretty good. Is this just like their standard Pro model?
Yep, that's the new Pro. The lower has got the ambi features, which I don't really like.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
It's the LMT style, which is
like the worst style of ambi.
I'm a right-handed shooter, and mirrored ambi controls like this aren't made for me. The controls layout on the M4E1 Pro is similar to what you would see on an LMT Mars lower, but there are other newer ambi designs that are better for right-handed shooters. SIG lowers or Griffin armament lowers, for example, have a lever that you can use to lock the bolt or drop it with your right-hand index finger. It's in a great spot for a right-handed shooter and can really speed up your reloads and allow you to lock the bolt quickly to diagnose a malfunction. You can also add this functionality to any mil-spec lower by installing a Magpul bad lever if you want to trigger some controversy.
Get that gun up!
Hey!
Oh, excellent. I think that was probably user error, huh?
I guess that's why they call it the bad lever. Am I right?
Bad.
The mirrored controls are hard to use for a right-handed shooter because in order to fit on an AR lower, they have to be further back than their left side counterparts. So you need to break your grip to access them, which ends up being slower than just hitting the bolt drop paddle on the left side of the gun with your thumb on the reload. These controls are also not really ideal for left-handed shooters. Lefties have some unexpected advantages when shooting a standard AR. They can use their index finger to hit the normal bolt catch to lock or drop the bolt easier than a right-hander. Really, the only ambi controls lefties need to add to the AR are a mag release and a safety selector. So who is this lower for? I think it's for military and law enforcement agencies to simplify training. It's easier and faster to train a group of guys when you can describe how to use the bolt catch one time in one way and it will apply to both sides of the gun. Sure, it's ultimately going to slow your lefties down, but we don't really care about lefties and they already have a shorter lifespan on average, so let them get killed in the streets.
I just don't know where to put my
it's
fingers.
not where you want it to be.
No, it should be right here, not here. That hurts, kind of.
Too far back.
Yeah.
To summarize, everything Aero did with the uppers of the M4E1 Pro is money, and that's why it costs money. The lowers don't offer anything I was looking for. I would much rather roll my own using the older M4E1 lower and adding just the Pro Series ambi selector, because I do like that part. My ideal M4E1 Pro hybrid build should be easily possible, assuming Aero is able to roll out the Pro Series parts in full. I've seen most lengths of the handguards for sale, but that's about it. A handful of M4E1 Pro Launch Edition rifles did make it out to retailers. They had nicer furniture and muzzle devices than the standard rifle. You may still be able to find one of those. As for the rifle that I have, it might be one of the very few that managed to ship out. These aren't available for order or even back order yet, which isn't a good sign. Aero has been dipping its toes into many ponds in the last few years. A new precision bolt action lineup, a new suppressor lineup, new duty grade rifles, and they even announced lever actions at last year's SHOT Show. I think they're spread a bit thin, I think they're running behind on orders, and there's always a retraction in the gun market when a nominal Republican is in office. I hope this isn't the end for Aero, because I still have more builds that need stripped lowers. But if it is, at least they died trying to get this beauty of a rifle into the world. for me.
That's all for today. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you'd like to support this show, please check the links in the video description. Join Subscribestar to get access to early videos, bonus videos, and Discord. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions. I will see you next time. Hi.